Hello, my name is Minerva, and today's lesson is the use of so, to, either, and neither as a reply to someone else to show agreement. What is agreeing? If you agree with someone, you have the same opinion about something. This agreement can be affirmative or negative. Let's see what you're going to use for affirmative and negative agreement. When a person says a positive statement and the other person agrees, you can use to or so. For example, I love going to the beach. We have different possible answers. I do too, so do I, me too. The second example says, she went to a restaurant last week. The possible answers, I did too, so did I, me too. Negative agreement. When a person says a negative statement and the other person agrees, we can use neither or either. First example says, I don't love going to the beach. We have possible answers. Neither do I, or I don't either, or me neither. The second example says, she didn't go to a restaurant last week. The possible answers, neither did I, or I didn't either, or me neither. Let's talk about the structure. We have different forms of the structure in the response. The first option is subject plus auxiliary plus to. The second option is so plus auxiliary plus subject. Take into consideration that the auxiliary verb needs to agree with the verb tense in the original statement or sentence. We have two examples here. The first one is in present perfect, and the second example is in simple present. The first one says, they have traveled to Europe. Remember that the auxiliary for the present perfect is have, so we need to use have for the responses. Then the answers can be, we have to, or so have we. For the simple present, we have Steve likes pizza. Possible answers, Mary does too, or so does Mary. We use does because that's the auxiliary for the simple present in questions. For negative structure, we have something very different from the affirmative. In this case, you have two options. The first one is subject plus negative auxiliary plus either. And the second option is neither plus positive auxiliary plus subject. And in this case, also, the verb form in the response should match the verb form used in the statement or sentence. Again, we have the same examples, the first one in present perfect and the second one in simple present, but in negative. They haven't traveled to Europe. So what are the possible answers? We haven't either, or neither have we. In simple present, Steve doesn't like pizza, and the possible answers, Mary doesn't either, or neither does Mary. There are two important things that we have to mention. Me too and me neither. When you use them, in casual conversations, you can use me too for affirmative statements or me neither for negative statements. And they can be used as responses to statements with be as well as other verbs. And what happened with the pronunciation? You can pronounce the first either or either, and the second one neither or neither. You can listen some people mention one or another. Both words can be pronounced differently depending on whether you prefer. Okay, here we have more examples. The first one in simple past with the verb be. I was tired this morning. Possible answers. We were too, or so were we. Next example in past perfect. He hadn't finished the homework. Possible answers. I hadn't either, or neither had I. Third example using the auxiliary could. We could go to the theater. Possible answers. She could too, or so could she. And the last example using, again, the present perfect. They haven't taken classes this week. Possible answers. She hasn't either, neither has she. Okay, guys, that's all for today. If you like this video, share it with your classmates and friends. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more lessons. Thanks for the visit and see you in our next lesson.